Once upon a time, two friends joined forces to bring you the best in horror entertainment. Brian from the north, Tim from the south, each bringing their own unique perspective to the horror community. Movie reviews, Blu-ray releases, beer pairings, games, and more. Welcome to your new home for horror. This is Civil Gore.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to the August Discmemberment of the Civil Gore podcast. I'm your host, Tim,
and this is Brian. I think we're gonna get back to a rousing dismemberment. This one might have some interesting moments in it.
This is a weird month. This might be our weirdest selection of movies we've had in quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, we get everything from like I guess Nazi orgies or whatever, something in there, and. There's some treats in there for sure.
This was a struggle, actually, to find the picks of the week because there really were no standouts, I wouldn't say, Brian, for most of these
nothing
weeks.
Like that. You know, most of the time, those pick of the weeks, there's like a big Shout Factory release or a big, like, Euro Crypt of Christopher Lee set or something. There really wasn't that much. Even the sets and the collections were smaller on the smaller side, so there was none of these like, holy crap, gotta have ones on there. Actually, week one is one I think though that one's like a no-brainer to me that we both picked because it's a movie that we had fun with. So and I know I already have it like on pre-order from Amazon. So
it's a the summer typically kind of slows down a little bit. You really get the real burst around Halloween. But this summer, I think COVID's really messed things up. It's really weird with all the shipping and the supplies and all that. It's been kind of you never know what you're going to get with these dismemberments. And August was certainly definitely one out of left field. So
well, you know what what my mama always said to him that dismemberments are like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
That's true. I need to rewatch that.
Lieutenant Tim. No, actually, I'm a very Forrest Gump mode after I watch the movies that made us Forrest Gump.
I know. I just watched the Back to the Future episode last night.
Yeah, the Pretty Woman one actually I found myself really interested in. I did not. There was a lot about that movie I had no clue. How there could have been like basically you could, this one was interesting because it seems as if almost Gary Marshall like was just like winging it the entire movie.
It's funny how some of the best movies are the ones where people were just like barely got it made.
Yeah, this one it's hilarious to find out how just some of the stuff in and how Richard Gere agreed to the movie. This series was good. The first season, I don't know. I just thought it was odd movies that they picked to start off this series. Like with so many other, like I figured season two choices seemed to be more appropriate than the season one. I think overall, but
and regardless, it's a very entertaining series.
Yeah, I like those series, like any of those kind of docu series like that, like the the Toys That Made Us were good, and
the Elf one, actually the whole Christmas one where they did Elf and Home Alone, but particularly Elf, I thought was just one of their best segments of all.
I'm just surprised that was its own, like that was the first batch, like in there, like with so many other movies that that people consider like shaping their childhood. Like to me, that I guess maybe because to me I was an adult when I saw Elf, it's like
there was a previous season before that, right? Before the Christmas one.
Oh, right, yeah, that's right. I think there was. You're right.
But I don't remember the movies in it actually.
I know Dirty Dancing was one, right?
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I see that in there, but I mean, there was even more than that. I would have thought basically after I've watched Back to the Future one, I would have think that would have been season one. I think they stayed away from certain movies, like obviously like the Star Wars franchise. It's been to how many times have you seen some sort of a documentary on Star Wars and all that? So I could see them not wanting to pick something like that. But I would have picked something like Superman the movie, like something like that to me. That was something that shaped me, like that, or I mean, they didn't really did they do a horror one yet? I don't think they did, right?
No, they've kind of stuck towards more I would say
like
more
family ones.
family.
I mean, Pretty Woman's probably the most risque. Well, and Dirty Dancing, I guess, a little bit. Be the big ones. Like I would have done like maybe one of the Ninja Turtles or something like that. You know, those kind of fun. Like, but who knows? I'm sure that I'm surprised that they. Well, no, I guess I'm not, because each episode is close to an hour, and they give you an in-depth work there. It's like they really go into a lot. I was gonna say, you know, there should be more than in a season, but I mean, this season they give you 5. That's pretty substantial.
Yeah. And the writing is so good in these, and the editing, the way they cut the interviews to make like jokes land and stuff is hilarious. That's a new
style of documentary. You know, that Disney's the behind the attraction is like that. If you watch, that's exactly the same way. They have Padgett Brewster as the host.
You're right.
And
I almost thought they did the. I almost thought that they did the. It was the same people. Because when I watched the Jungle, because when I watched the Jungle Cruise one, it was. It sounded like exactly the same writing style and everything.
Yeah, I think it's a new style. It's like this, almost like a pop documentary, like a style or something where. They kind of like, you know, it's it's almost like an entertainment, like live show that they're putting in there, but with a documentary style. You know what I'm saying? Like how there's an MC more than just a narrator.
You know, if you ever watched the Penn and Teller bullshit show, they kind of had that same kind of thing where they would basically cut the interviewers to make jokes at their expense, sort of. That's the first time I ever kind of saw that style. But in the Penn and Teller one, it was a little more mean spirited, whereas in like the movies that made us, it's all, you know, kind of lighthearted. But yeah,
yeah, and then the Disney one, actually, I'm surprised they actually were they kind of like, you know, some of the jokes she said, I'm like, oh, that's kind of poking fun at Disney on Disney's home turf here, you know, like I'm like, well. But I guess they wrote it, so I mean, as long as they control it all, I guess it's okay. But,
all right. Well,
now that we've gotten off,
completely
to a
off
tangent
topic.
Faster than ever before. Well, we might as well get into the week 1, which is extremely tiny. The first 2 weeks, I think, are only 3 releases each, right?
Yeah, the first 3 weeks.
Oh, first 3 weeks.
August,
wow.
Yeah, August is a 5-week month. But yeah, these are very tiny first 3 weeks. It's kind of a backloaded month. So we're going to skip our pick of the week and go straight to Arrow's, probably our biggest box set of the month here. The Sergio Martino collection, 1971 to 1975. It's a 3-disc set. It includes, I love these giallo names. The Case of the Scorpion's Tail, Your Vice is a Locked Room, and Only I Have the Key, which might be the best title ever.
Yeah.
And The Suspicious Death of a Minor. This one,
and that's a minor as in child, not a minor as like a coal miner.
Yeah, like.
But that it's funny that Your Vice is a locked room, and I'm the. That almost sounds like either like some weird song lyric that would be thrown in, or like something a villain would say, like right before they kill the hero or try to kill the hero. Your vice is a locked room, and only I have the key, Batman. You know, it's like
it does.
It's funny how they do that.
This one has a pretty big slew of special edition features. Has the three films I just mentioned, all restored in 2K from the original camera negative, the original mono Italian and English tracks. I won't go through all the subtitle stuff.
Yeah.
Newly commissioned artwork. So, The Case of the Scorpion's Tail, we have an audio commentary with writer Ernesto Gastaldi, moderated by filmmaker Federico Cadio in Italian with English subtitles. Under the Sign of the Scorpion, an interview with star George Hilton. The Scorpion Tales, an interview with director Sergio Martino. Jet Set Giallo, an analysis
Wasn't that a
Sergio
Sega
Martino.
Game?
It does sound like that. An analysis of Sergio Martino's films by Mikkel J. Coven, author of La Dolce Morte, vernacular cinema and the Italian giallo film. The Case of the Screenwriter Auteur, a video essay by Troy Howarth, author of So Deadly, So Perverse.
He gets mentioned enough later. That's why I didn't put his.
Yeah, we didn't highlight him because he'll get his due later. 50 years of Italian giallo films, theatrical trailer, image gallery, and reversible sleeve. Your Vice is a Locked Room, and Only I Have the Key. We have Through the Keyhole, an interview with director Sergio Martino, Unveiling the Vice.
Like each word in that title is getting its own feature.
Unveiling the Vice, making of retrospective featuring interviews with Martino, star Edwidge Finich, and screenwriter Ernesto Gastaldi. Dolls of Flesh and Blood, The Gialli of Sergio Martino, a visual essay by Michael McKenzie exploring the director's unique contributions to the Giallo genre. The Strange Vices of Miss Finich. Film historian Justin Harries. Oh, I missed that one. Film historian Justin Harries on your Vice actress's prolific career.
Well, you might have missed it, but how good I am is I quickly looked up some history on him, and he actually was so he specialized in doing a lot of really fast commentaries on film on a segment on the local news called Harry's Up. So he liked the. So yeah, that was a. Cody, you'll have to rewind that one and not groan too much at that one, but.
Eli Roth on your Vice and the Genius of Martino, reversible sleeve featuring original newly commissioned artwork by Matthew Griffin, and finally with the suspicious death of a minor, we have audio commentary by Troy Howarth.
Yeah,
Again.
Well, we know him, of course. He's our posh Englishman.
That's right.
Since he's not teamed up with any of his group, he's neither Statler nor Waldorf or one of the Stygian witches. he's just a posh Englishman, Troy Howarth. Here, author of So Deadly, So Perverse, 50 Years of Italian Giallo Films.
Yes. Violent Milan, an interview with co-writer, director Sergio Martino, and reversible sleeve featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by Chris Melvin. So a nice little set there. I don't know the pricing of that, but Arrows always makes really great sets. I don't think you can go wrong with these. Don't know much about these, but this is kind of a weird month for Giallo films, especially the kind of underground ones. As we'll see later.
They're really pulling out everything from that Styles vault. The next one is from RLJ Entertainment. I guess that's the Shudder company that released all the Shudder. But I don't remember this one being on Shudder yet. Has it, Seance?
I don't remember because I really want to watch this one.
Yeah, this one looks. It's funny. You got to give this trailer its due. Don't immediately, because Tim and I both had the same thing. It starts to look really generic. But something about it picks up to where it really pulls you in and it really makes you want to see it. So it's from 2021, Seance, again, is what it's called. Camille, a young woman who arrives at the Fairfield Academy following one of the students' untimely and violent death. Now, just even that plot sounds familiar, but you got to just give the trailer a chance. I think you'll see that it looks really interesting. It could turn out to be exactly what your first thought might have been, but they did a good job of the trailer as a whole to get you wanting to see this movie by the end, which isn't that the point of the trailer? So,
I'm definitely interested. It looks very intriguing, very creepy. And that brings us to our pick of the week, mutual pick of the week. Brian and I both picked this one, and there's a good reason why, because this movie was featured on an early episode of the Civil Gore podcast under a different title.
Yes, it was under Night Warning, right?
Night Warning, yep. So this is released by Code Red. It's Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker, which is the obviously better title.
But that was the original title, because I remember seeing it on an old DVD of it at one of the conventions. I think it was the Chiller convention. I almost bought it there, but I think it might have been a bootleggy version. But also, when I remember when we looked it up, it had a couple of different names. But yeah, this is OG Civil Gore listeners. Well, we got to remember this episode. I even remember your title. It was "Ants in Your Pants" was the name of the episode you gave it, Tim, because it was.
Yeah, that's right.
Aunt Cheryl was a little weird, and it had the neighbor Marge that we had fun with. That was right around because that was I think in the first bunch of 6 episodes, I think, right?
Because, it was super early.
Yeah, it was when we were trying to pick these kind of movies. We were still trying to find our voice of the podcast, and we were kind of going with movies that we could kind of laugh along with. We did that. We did the, of course.
Well, that's also when we would basically go scene by scene through the movie too. Yeah. So we didn't have all this other features and things. So
yeah, but Cody going through all these, she's getting the whole the resurgence of it all. She gets to see the whole thing, so that's she'll probably really notice the style change as she goes through doing our beer things for us. So
yeah, this one has a previously remastered 2K print from the original camera negative that was done back in 2017, and then we have an audio commentary by producer-writer Stephen Breimer and co-writer Alan J. Gluckman, moderated by Mondo Digital's Nathaniel Thompson, and we all know who that is, right, Brian?
Yeah, he got grandfathered in, of course, unless he's with Troy Howarth, and he becomes either Statler or Waldorf, and then he's not. He could be a Stygian witch too with Ruth Holchek if he comes in there. But
I would love to see this like some kind of, I don't know, reenactment of how these film historians combine like Voltron into these other.
I know.
beings.
I think we need to have someone who's really good at like basic cartooning, and they could do. You remember how like they would do those like how the movie should end, like
Yeah.
and they would redo the scene with that. I think so. We need someone who's a cartoon artist. Recreating this stuff and like recording it for us, and we can like play it on our YouTube channel.
Yeah. Audio commentary by Jimmy McNichol. On-camera interviews with stars Jimmy McNichol and Susan Terrell, actor Stephen Easton, makeup artist Alan A. Alpone, and producer Steve Breimer. Dash trailer, reversible night warning art, and limited edition O-card slipcase. So,
The night warning art. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna order this one. I think I might actually have it pre-ordered. I can't remember if it's saved or pre-ordered yet officially, but yeah, this is definitely something I'm ordering because this has got to go on the monolith. Right.
At some point, I really need to make an effort to. I at least should own the Blu-ray of every movie we've ever featured on the show.
Yeah,
don't you think? You probably are pretty close. Already.
I'm pretty close compared. I mean, there's some I just have no choice yet. I don't think there's a good Blu-ray of what's that one we did? The one we did like episode 3 with the alligator.
Eaten Alive.
Eaten Alive. Like I don't think there's a good version of that. I think there is a version, but it's not really good. So I'm like I think there's some, but then there's some that are just flat out. I don't think they're available. I'd have to go through, but I'm probably pretty close.
Yeah.
I'd have to go through all our episodes, but I can't. I mean, other than the newest stuff that we do, like with like the little mini-sodes we do for movies that we get in interviews for. I don't have those yet, but like some of them I do. Like I have Held already. Like I got that one. So I got most of the Shudder ones. So I should do that. I'll report back.
Report back and see how many you're missing.
I want to see how close I am. I'm probably like ridiculously close. To
recap, August 3rd, we had the Sergio Martino collection from Arrow, which is a 3-disc set. We had RLJ Entertainment Seance, and then we had our pick of the week, Code Red's Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker from 1982. Go back and listen to that episode if you want a pretty entertaining look at the early Civil Gore shows, which I am still scared to go back and listen to.
Although the Manitou one I know is okay. So I think they got. Well, I think we got like. They got better real quick. At least I think that the Halloween one was was bad because we just literally forgot we could edit, and we just
we thought we were doing a live show.
Yeah, it was like we totally did this live thing without realizing we could cut that out if that's bad. And,
well, the other thing I realized too is you can get the habit of over editing and worrying too much about it. Like those guys in the loop, they don't edit anything. No. They don't. I mean, they literally just talk and like I'm not going to edit this episode probably very much, if at all, unless we really screw up. Because I mean, in the great scheme of things, I think most people don't really care unless you're like constantly flubbing things. Or being annoying, which, well, I guess being annoying is part of our show.
Yeah, just a little bit, right?
Oh, well. Anyway, we can't all be perfect, so thanks for you guys that have put up with this for 5 years.
I will say something that I changed. Tim, I don't even know if you remember, because I haven't done this in ages, but I remember almost after every episode, like, it was like the next morning I'd wake up, and I'd remember something I said, and I'm just like, Tim, I think I said this weird. Can you get that? Remember to edit this out. But now I think I don't know if it's that I just stopped caring about or being so critical of myself with things I said, or I've just naturally been able to like edit myself before I say things. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a little combo of both. But do you remember I used to say that? I'm like, Tim, I don't know how that's gonna come out. I don't know if it's gonna sound good.
Yeah. Well, I think you're always your own worst critic, and right. I think at some point. For me, I think it was just a time thing because I was like, I can't spend so many hours editing the show. And, for what difference does it make? I haven't gotten any really feedback either way. So does it really matter if I spend 5 hours editing the show or if I spend 30 minutes? Does it really, in the great scheme of things, does it really matter? We're going to put another show out next week anyway. So I kind of got over the the perfectionism of trying to make sure everything was perfect and every silent gap was exactly the right length and all that kind of stuff. So,
did you hear that thing Mike and EB were talking about? There's that software that Mike has that could literally, he runs it through and it could take out every dead space.
Yeah, Audacity can actually do that as well.
Oh, it does? Yeah, but he said, like, why would you want to do that, really? That it would, like, because then literally everything would be continuous. There wouldn't be a breath.
Well, I don't do it only because I think it makes the show sound artificial.
Well,
because
that too, I guess.
Now I do it manually. Like if I see a really long gap, like if somebody paused for like 10 seconds, I'll cut it down to like 2 seconds because it doesn't change the meaning of the show, and I don't want to just have like really dead air. But I don't trust a computer algorithm to do that and make it sound organic. I think it just sounds artificial. Yeah. I remember one time I did that early on in the podcast. I was doing it for I don't know, some sound. I don't know if it was like a or a something like that, and I decided to try to, like, through an algorithm, remove that, and it just destroyed the sound quality of the whole thing. And I was like, no, I'm never doing that again. I'm just gonna manually go for it. So yeah, I don't know. It's I've learned a lot doing definitely learned a lot doing the show, editing. Because I was never editing anything before this, but yeah.
Well, you
so
do a
moving
fine
on.
job now. It's funny you said that because we just had well, by the time you hear this, you might have already heard the interview where we have to actually, we caught it during the interview. We know a point where we need to edit something out, just because it was a little bit of a spoiler was mentioned. It's kind of funny now to think of it, but Tim does an amazing job. I think it's kind of like, and I noticed something we do. I don't even know how it did. We just organically kind of split the duties. It's like, like I'll work on the rundown. Tim does the editing. Like I'll do this part of the social media. He'll do that. It just kind of worked really well without us even really coming up with a set plan of it. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, and not one person can do all of it unless you want to make this your full-time job. And there are podcasters that is their full-time job, and even they have staff typically that does all this stuff.
We have an intern, really. That's it.
Yeah, we have an intern.
Yeah, and we have a man on the street
that we pay way too little, by the way.
I know. We need Cody. I promise. I know we said this last week. We are going to send you a present for what you are doing.
Paul Blart 2 is headed your way.
Yes, it's coming to in glorious 4K.
All right, well, let's get to August 10th. We do have a couple of kind of reissues here. We have the Friday the 13th 8-movie collection.
That just bothers me. They released that version over and over again, the 8 movie. That's more than 8, so it's like I don't know why someone would buy that version, especially when the Shout Factory, for what they're probably paying for this, for a little bit more now, because I think keep seeing that Shout Factory one at under $100 now.
Yeah, and you could get these digitally too, really cheap. Like on Vudu, they sell this 8-movie collection all the time. The other one that you guys do not want is the Haunting 1999 version, which is just a terrible movie. Just go get the real Haunting, the original, and skip this one. But those are just the reissues. For the new releases, we only have 3 this week. First one up is from Media Blasters, and it's called Black Rat from 2010. 6 classmates receive an email from Asuka, who supposedly committed suicide. Later that night, they all get together in a classroom and are surprised by a person wearing a bloody rat mask. The costume rat quickly begins attacking them while screaming. This is revenge for Asuka's death. And I will tell you, Brian, for a movie about somebody in a rat mask killing classmates, I got a bit bored by this trailer because they literally went through every kill.
Yeah, it was weird.
In the movie.
I mean, here's the thing. I kind of liked it. It had a very, something we see in those the movies from the different Asian countries over there and stuff. They have those cool mythology things. Like it seemed like from the trailer you got this little mythology of the rats, the different. Remember, because they're like, rat number 1 was this, rat number 2 was it, and I thought that was kind of cool. It just for a trailer. It made it was like if they would have just ended on that, but then there was this extra 30 seconds of stuff too. That kind of.
They also went through 6 rats. I'm like,
yeah,
it would been if it had been 3 maybe.
But I actually kind of liked the mythology of that though. The way it's kind of creepy. They're like one is a skinny rat or one is a scary rat. I kind of like that mythology. I think they should have just tightened everything up. Is what it brought.
Yeah.
It was a
just
little
went
too
dragged
long.
on too long.
Each segment was too long. I liked the the sum. I mean, the parts more than the sum of the parts, which is usually the opposite. It just seemed weird the way they needed to tighten that trailer up. But the movie overall seems kind of cool, though.
Yeah.
A little weird and a little creepy. Next one is our pick of the week, so I'm going to skip that one, and that one's another one of those titles. But next one is from Lionsgate Film, The House Next Door, Meet the Blacks 2, 2021. This movie looks hilarious, by the way. So it says, from Beverly Hills to the Chicago Burbs, mayhem and hilarity. And it's funny because it said Chicago Burbs, and it kind of reminded me, this trailer, of the Burbs.
Yeah.
Totally, or like a Fright Night kind of thing. Where it says, mayhem and hilarity seem to follow the blacks wherever they go. After surviving a night of terror on the West Coast, not so. Best-selling author Carl Black, Mike Epps, moves his family back to his childhood home in the Windy City, where he hopes to find the peace and quiet he needs to write his new book. But when an eccentric neighbor, Cat Williams, moves in next door, Carl becomes convinced the man is a vampire, trying to take his family, and must team up with his oddball neighbors to save his career and their lives. So yeah, this is it's almost like Fright Night and the Burbs together.
I never knew about the Meet the Blacks, the first one. I want to go back and watch it now.
I've seen it on cable, but I don't know if it was one of those things where I saw all of it. Because
this looked like kind of like a scary movie, but like with less like airplane, less like slapstick kind of comedy. It was more like a little bit more elevated comedy. I guess
the original was like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But I remember it's actually on Stars now. So if you have the Stars app, you can see the original. I may go back and watch it because I think I remember seeing like at least parts of this. Whether I ever got to see the whole movie, I can't remember. Possibly, but yeah. Anyway, so you can watch it on Stars, the original, and then. But this trailer looks hilarious. This looks really like funny. It seems like they got a good cast with this. Mike Epps just cracks me up. I love watching his stuff. So. I definitely want to check this one out. Not pick of the week, because I think the reason why the one we picked to the pick of the week, one of I did, it's just the title alone, in all honesty.
Well, I picked it because it looks super, super creepy.
It does. It does look really creepy. This is like one of those weird ones you'd find on Shudder eventually.
Yeah. So this is Brian and I's pick of the week. It's from MPI Media Group, and it's called My Heart Can't Beat Unless You Tell It To, from 2020. Two mysterious siblings find themselves at odds over care for their frail and sickly younger brother. And that description does not do this trailer justice.
No.
It looks really like a very uncomfortable, I use the word uncomfortable, very dark movie. It appears that maybe the sickly younger brother, and I don't know, this is not spoilers because I'm guessing from the trailer, is some sort of vampire or needs blood or something.
Yeah, so he definitely is some kind of bloodlust or blood. It needs it to survive. I don't know what it is. If he's a true vampire or not, or he's just got some kind of weird disease they'll make up in this. I don't know.
So they're having to kill people and bring it back to him, and it's just, I don't know. It's got a weird vibe to it. It's got. It kind of has that same feel to me from the trailer as a lot of these movies we've seen recently, like The Lodge, and some of those types of movies that are, they always have the splash at the front, Winter Cannes Film Festival, and
the A24, but not being A24.
yeah. So it kind of has that vibe to it. So I thought this looked really cool, and I'm pick of the week. It's kind of a blind pick, but out of these three, it's the one I kind of most wanted to see.
Yeah, I know. I do want to see it too. I do want to see, but the title made me laugh because of the other one. But
yeah. All right. So to recap, August 10th, which is Anna's birthday, by the way.
Oh, that's right.
Yep. We're going to go see Train for Anna's birthday. That'll be fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and they're really good live. That's a really good live.
Yeah, I've always liked Train.
Yeah. So we had Media Blasters Black Rat from 2010, The House Next Door, Meet the Blacks 2 from 2021, and then our pick of the week, MPI Media Group, My Heart Can't Beat Unless You Tell It To.
Just sounded funny you said Media Blasters Black Rat. It sounded like it was together, one title.
Yeah, that sounds like it could be a thing. It reminds me of the old Nintendo game Master Blaster.
Oh yeah, that's what I always think of with that. Yeah.
But every time I see Media Blasters, I want to say Master Blaster.
Oh well, but this week we start off good. I think on August 17th, don't you think, Tim? with this one?
Yeah, this one's crazy. So this is August 17th. We start things off with actually I just did the last one, Brian. So this is your take.
Okay. Yeah, this one's Lionsgate. It's Sundown: The Vampire in Retreat from 1989. First of all, 1989. For some reason, I would have thought this was from the 70s when you see this trailer.
Yeah.
But and the fact that like I don't know like how I've never like seen this, it's like I don't know. I mean, but I kind of need to now, I think. But anyway, so it's Count Margulac, the leader of the vampires, has ended their tradition of human bloodletting and has placed his followers on a diet of synthetic bottled blood. Wasn't that like True Blood?
That's True Blood's plotline, basically.
Yeah. So, it says, but when a new family moves into town, the natives start to crave the real thing. Rebel leader Shane and his army plan to overthrow the Count, but it won't happen without a fight to the battle for the right to bite begins at sundown. So this is like almost like essentially a Western.
But
vampire.
From the description, before I watched the trailer, I thought this was kind of more of like a highbrow, because it's called Sundown: The Vampire in Retreat.
Yeah.
It seemed like one of those kind of maybe European artsy type movies, and then it turns out it looks like some wacky Western vampire comedy or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird, but the best is that one of the things that the taglines in there is they say now they gotta fight for the right to bite. I mean, so that alone already, like, why wasn't that big of a thing? I don't know. Maybe this just wasn't marketed well. I mean, Lionsgate has it now, but I don't think Lionsgate was around when this came out. So
I have never heard of this movie.
They must have just got the distribution rights to this. Yeah, who we gotta ask our pop culture expertise expert, I should say, with Steve Cohn, because this would be something right up his alley where he'd know about
the
this
right
movie.
time period. Yeah, Steve would know.
Yeah, this is like all Steve Cohn. So Steve Cohn, you're listening this a week later. We want the answer by now. If not, I'm going to text you tomorrow, which is 3 days ago or 4 days ago from when you hear this. Either way. But yeah, so this is actually a pretty packed disc for a movie we never heard of. So it starts with audio commentary with director Anthony Hickox and director of photography Levi Isaacs. Then it's got isolated score selections and audio interviews with music historian Randall Larson and producer Jefferson Richard. Now, I did a little research on Randall, Tim.
Oh, God.
Would you like
Here
to
we
know
go.
what I found out?
I would love to.
Okay, so he's known for the book he wrote about music entitled "You Can't Randall the Rick Roll: A Discussion with Rick Astley." So that was if you haven't read that book, you need to. It's really informative. It's about what's great about it is right. It's only about 35 pages long, but it operates as a flip book. So at the bottom corner, you can see like a little Rick roll going on when you flip it.
Oh,
It's
nice.
pretty cool. And if no one has invented that, I'm trademarking it. But
I have a coworker that back when Rickrolling was a thing. I've been at my current job for 12 years now. So I go way back. I go back to the earlier days of Rickrolling, and we got started on that. Somehow we got started on, like, Rickrolling each other, and it has continued to this day. Like, we still Rickroll each other from time to time, and it's become increasingly harder and harder to figure out ways to trick the other person, because we've had 12 years of history trying to prank each other. So sometimes we'll go months between it, but I've always had to try to find ways to trick her into getting Rickrolled.
you're gonna have to trick roll.
Yeah.
So, and actually, speaking of this guy, though, of Randall Larson, though, he also had his own band in college called the Randall Larson Project. But he got a cease and desist by the Alan Parsons Project the night of their first gig. So he actually fought it, a brief trial, but which they ended up winning. But unfortunately, the damage was done, and he never took the stage again. So
did he go on to create Larson Loopers?
He might have lended his name to that because his career was in a loop. This poor guy, I swear to God, he's probably like this really great musician expert, and I've just gave him this horrible backstory that like ties into Rick Astley. I don't know. Anyway, so the interviews on this disc are there's The Wild Weird West, which I can't think of a more perfect title for a feature for this thing. An interview with director Anthony Hickox. Bloodsuckers from Purgatory. An interview with special makeups effect creator Tony Gardner, Memories of Moab. An interview with actor Bruce Campbell. Oh, a vampire reformed. He's in this? I don't think I saw him in the trailer.
I don't remember seeing him either.
It says, in an interview with actor David Carradine, a true character. An interview with actor M. Emmett Walsh. Oh, that's an awesome interview. Wow. That must be really old, though, right? Because he's passed away, right? Emmett Walsh? He must have, right?
I have no idea. I'd have
Cone,
to
we
look at
need
that website.
we need a lifeline to Cone, like during every
There's a
episode.
website that tells you whose celebrities are dead or not.
Yeah, no, I'm going to look them up. But and then theatrical trailer and still gallery. So that is a packed disc. Oh, no, I apologize. I killed off M. Emmett Walsh, and he is alive and well.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, M. Emmett Walsh. He's one of my favorite actors, too.
Oh,
And
well, that's good.
And
Good
I
that he's
nearly killed him.
Still around.
Good for him. You
Good
know
for
what?
him.
Maybe this is a new interview then. Probably his first thing he says is he goes, "I'm not dead." Okay.
All right. So our next one is our first Shout Factory release this month, The Borrower from 1991. Aliens punish one of their own by sending him to Earth. The alien is very violent, and when the body he occupies is damaged, he is forced to find another. I don't know what to make of this trailer.
Is this like the plot of every other alien invasion
my gosh.
movie, though? Jeez.
This is one of those Shout Factories that doesn't have any extras. It's kind of just one of their one-offs, and maybe I know why from the trailer.
Yeah, this trailer, I like. What I said, I wrote it because when you name drop 27 other horror films in a 1-minute trailer, you may not have the best marketing team, because literally everything in this trailer, they're like, now that Hellraiser and something else has been so good, horror is back in the fold. It's like literally they're trying to sell you on this movie in every way possible by mentioning 15 other films, and it's such a weird trailer. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
Let me use
this
other
movie
hit
did well.
movies to advertise my own movie.
Yeah, like yeah, I mean, seriously. Then the next one is our pick of the week already. That's right. And this one is one that we loved when we got the screener for this. This was on Shudder a while back, and this was, well, when we saw it, it was Stay Out of the Effing Attic, but now they sanitized the title here. It's just Stay Out of the Attic. But it says 2021. This was released last year.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm just copying it.
No,
from
I
what it says,
did.
but
I
don't
knew.
know.
I'm not, yeah.
Sometimes
no,
you
I
get
know
those weird. You get those movies that were either released late or whatever, and they kind of straddle the years. I've seen that happen before on IMDb, where I go, wait, that came out a year later, and then you find out that it came out a year before, or vice versa.
Yeah. I mean, it's you never know with they could be counting, maybe because it was on Shudder, but it never got its true wide release, so maybe they counted it low. I don't know. Either way, or maybe because they changed the title. I don't know. What they did that with that other movie we saw. Remember that the Christmas one that you liked,
right,
The Nightmare Before Christmas, and then they changed the title. Remember, we didn't realize it until we started to look at it. I'm like, wait a minute, Tim, this is that one you reviewed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, Stay Out of the Attic. It says a group of ex-cons turned movers are convinced by their creepy client to pull an all-nighter. The night progresses. They uncover the horrors that exist inside the old Victorian mansion. Really, really good one. I don't know if it's still on Shudder, but either way, check this one out. And that's why this is getting pick of the week, because I mean, you know what? Technically, that Sundown the Vampire in Retreat could have been definitely a contender because of its up, but just because I haven't heard of it and I don't know what it is, and this I know was a good movie.
Yeah,
I
mean,
we had to give it its due.
Well, this is just proof that we don't always pick the disc that has the most extras. It's kind of intangible, the reason why I pick my picks of the week, but it's kind of a gut feeling. I can't explain it. I tend to be drawn towards one or the other, and in this case, it was a movie I really enjoyed. So that's the only reason you need.
Okay, and an update: Stay Out of the Effing Attic is still on Shudder, and actually it's Shudder. It says 2021, so maybe it came out right at the beginning of the year.
Could be, yeah, and it was really good.
This has been a long year, so maybe it just came out right at the beginning of the year.
I don't know what years are anymore or days. So
I know, what are years? What are days?
Yeah. So to recap, August 17th, we had Sundown, The Vampire in Retreat from Lionsgate, 1989. The Borrower from 1991, that's a Shout Factory disc. And Stay Out of the Attic, the sanitized title.
It's
from
still the regular
2021.
title on Shudder, by the way. So
Yeah. This is from RLJ Entertainment. So yeah, if you can't find Stay Out of the Attic, look for Stay Out of the Effing Attic, and you'll find it.
yes.
All right, so moving right along to August 24th, and this is our first week where we get a really big load. We get 9 releases this week.
And we split on our pick of the week.
Split on our pick of the week. This is good. The first one up is, well, first let me tell you, there is a reissue of the 3 Conjuring films, which would not be a bad set to have all 3, because I don't have any of them right now. So it would be nice to pick up that 3 film set.
Yeah, I have the first 2, so I'll pick up release 1, which is the actual...
So yeah, the first release is Warner Brothers, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It from 2021, and the description is literally 3rd installment of the Conjuring franchise. So I watched The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2 again with the kids recently, and I really liked The Conjuring 2. I think it holds up really well. I thought it was a great sequel. It's still pretty creepy, and not perfect, but still pretty darn good. And so I was really looking forward to The Conjuring 3, and I just did not like this movie. It strayed away from the formula. It got a bit too much into the demon possession. And I know all the Conjuring movies have some level of demon possession, but it's kind of filtered through ghost and haunting type activity. Whereas this one is like more straight up demon possession. And I don't know. I didn't find it that scary. It was just a big letdown. I mean, I still love Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, but I don't know. This one just didn't do it for me. This one does have some actually pretty good features here. We got By Reason of Demonic Possession, an in-depth look at the true story that inspired the movie. The Occultist, meet the terrifying new addition to the Conjuring universe. Exorcism of Fear, delve into the making of the movie and the chilling exorcism scene that opens the film. And DC Horror presents The Conjuring, The Lover No. 1, a video comic that takes you deeper into the Conjuring universe. And this is one I'll definitely give it another shot, just to make sure I wasn't just not in the right mood or something. Definitely want to watch this one again. The kids want to see it, so it gives me another excuse to watch it. But definitely for me, the very, very much the weakest of the Conjuring, and one of the more weaker of the entire kind of Conjuring universe, in my opinion.
Yes, I still need to see the third one, but I think you know what it is. I haven't seen I don't remember the second one that well because I saw it so long ago, so I gotta watch it again. Let's see. Next one up. That's right. Because I was looking again. I'm like this. But we fixed it. We fixed the error here. There was a glitch earlier with our file, so it was like, it didn't make sense. We had to get Tim to fix it. So I'm looking at it for a second. I did a double take. But anyways, from Blue Underground, it's Two Evil Eyes from 1990. It says the masters of modern horror, George Romero and Dario Argento, bring you an unprecedented pair of shockers inspired by the tale of Edgar Allan Poe. In Romero's The Facts in the Case of Mr. Valdemar. Did I say that right? Valdemar? Yeah. Voldemort?
Voldemort, yeah.
Valdemar. A conniving wife, Agent Barbeau of the Fog, as it says. Tim does not write this; he copies and pastes. So when I mock the line, it's not him.
So when it's in all caps, Brian has to shout the title.
Yeah, I have to shout it. It says, so Agent Barbeau of the Fog and of her lover use a oh my God, I'm on all cylinders today. Hypnotic trance to embezzle a fortune from her dying husband, only to receive some chilling surprises from beyond the grave. And whenever it says beyond the grave, you have to say it in that voice. That's a rule. Then in Argento's The Black Cat, a deranged crime scene photographer, Harvey Keitel of Reservoir Dogs, was driven to a brutal acts of madness and murder by his girlfriend's new pet. But will this cunning feline deliver a final sickening twist of his own? Harvey Keitel, I always it's so funny. Harvey Keitel, whenever I think of him, I always just think of his character in Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction. That's my two, even though he's been in how many movies, right?
Well, see, I think of him in Pulp Fiction because he was the fixer.
The fixer, he was.
He was Mr. Wolf, right? Wasn't he Mr. Wolf? And then with Julie being the fixer, that's all I can think of when you say that Julie's the fixer. All I think of is Harvey Keitel in my mind.
Well, that is how she handles it too. She handles it so calm.
Right.
Me, I'm I could fix things, but I go off the deep end first. She just kind of walks in like that, has a cup of coffee, sits around, maybe even comments on the coffee while time is ticking away, but she has it all down pat and solves the problem. I mean, she solved. Well, you did it too. Actually, you get fixer cred though, Tim, because you stayed on as long for Universal as she did on the phone that time. So. But this movie looks will be great because it's got Adrian Barbeau, and who doesn't want to see a movie with her in it. I'll watch anything.
She is
with her
so
in it.
awesome.
She is. And remember how sweet she was in person?
So sweet.
So
yes.
tiny too. Like I expected. I
You
don't
just
know
wanted
why.
to,
I
like,
expected her
I don't know.
taller.
I just wanted to like give her a hug. Like
We did.
yeah, well we did. You're right. Yeah, but you just kind of want like she feels like you want to be like her, like go over to her house and have cookies and tea and just give her a little hug. Like, she's like her grandmama. But she doesn't look old. I mean, she's
She doesn't. That's the thing.
She looks
been
great.
around for long, and
Yeah,
she's been in
around.
movies where she's had like like kind of mean characters, and yet like in person she is like. I mean, obviously, everyone's not like your character, but like it's so funny. That shows how good she is because she can get so mean and so vile in certain roles. But yet, when you see her in person, she's like the cutest little thing. Just the nicest,
you can
nicest
just
woman.
put her in your pocket. She's like a little. They should make little
exactly.
tiny Adrienne Barbeaus. You just put it in.
I
your
know.
pocket.
Wouldn't that be great if everyone? I think the world would be a much better place if we all had our own little Adrienne Barbeaus to put in our pocket. Anyway, so the disc one is a 4K Blu-ray. 4K restoration of the film from the uncensored camera negative, Dolby Vision HDR presentation of the film. It's got that new Atmos mix. It's got an audio commentary with Troy Howarth, author of Murder by Design, The Unsane Cinema of Dario Argento. He's got a lot of stuff going on today, Troy Howarth.
He's got a lot of
Today,
books
I
in the
said.
oven there.
Yeah, he's got books, he's got movies, got commentaries. Theatrical trailer, poster still galleries. Disc 2 is a Blu-ray. Two Masters' Eyes, interviews with directors Dario Argento and George Romero. Special makeup effects supervisor Tom Savini, executive producer Claudio Argento, and Asia Argento. Savini's FX, a behind-the-scenes look at film special effect makeup effects. And At Home with Tom Savini, a personal tour of Tom Savini's home.
And then awkward moments with Tom Savini, where Tim goes up to his table and acts weird.
Yeah, and I can't imagine like that. Like, do you go into his bathroom? I don't know. Do you see what's in his medicine cabinet? What do you see in his house? Adrienne Barbeau on George Romero. That'd probably be interesting. I'd just love to hear her talk.
Is
So
that
that'd be
her
great.
literally on top of him, or is it just her talking about him?
I think it's on top of, because I think she does the interview on top of him, like she's sitting on him after she escaped his pocket.
because that would be much more entertaining interview, I think.
Yeah. Before I Wake, an interview with star Rami Zada. Behind the Wall, an interview with star Madeline Potter. One Maestro and Two Masters, interview with composer Pino Donaggio.
That sounds like a wine.
It does, Pino Donaggio.
I don't know. Give me the Pinot
Age 16
Donaggio.
years from the Donaggio Vineyards. Sparkling, crisp. Okay.
That's a great
Rewriting
name.
Poe, an interview with co-writer Franco Ferrini. The Cat Who Wouldn't Die, an interview with assistant director Luigi Cozzi. Basically, if you've been somewhere remotely connected to this film, you're on this disc. Two Evil Brothers, an interview with special makeup effects assistant Everett Burrell. Working with George, an interview with costume designer Barbara Anderson. And it's got a limited edition embossed slipcover featuring original artwork by the late, great Enzo Sciatti for the first pressing only.
Now, the embossed slipcovers are cool. I like embossed stuff.
And I'm looking at this. Why was this not my pick of the week? Oh, I know why. Okay, never mind. I see why.
All right. Yeah, that could have definitely been my pick of the week as well.
I can't believe you picked the pick of the week since you despise this film for its repeated.
That's why
appearance.
I picked it. That's when we'll get to that. Well, that's
okay.
exactly why I picked it. All right. So next up from Unearthed Films, we have Evil Dead Trap from 1988. Not to be confused with any of the Evil Dead films. This is a Japanese, for lack of a better word, this is like a Japanese giallo film.
It is.
Really
It's
strange.
got like a mix of both of like the genres.
Yeah,
that great Asian horror mixed with a giallo horror. It's weird.
A TV station employee takes a camera crew out to an abandoned factory to investigate a purported snuff film that was made there. As she gets closer to the truth, she and her friends are subjected to a brutal nightmare. So this one looks absolutely insane. Go look at the trailer. But no
really
extras
cool,
on this one that I know of.
Darn it, Tim.
Yeah.
No extras. Okay. Next one is by MVD Visual, and that is The Dark in 1979. It says an alien mutilator stalks and kills human prey during the night. And that's all you're getting. But Tim noticed that Kathy Lee Crosby is monster shooting frickin' laser
that's
beams.
incredible, man. That's Incredible was my show. I love that show. And Kathy Lee Crosby was one of the hosts with, who was it else?
John Davidson.
Fran
Tarkenton. Yeah, you're right.
Was he That's Incredible or Real People?
Oh, I know. I think he maybe he was both. I think he did all those shows.
Am I crazy, or did those come on back to back? I feel like, I don't know if I'm mixing it up in my mind, but I feel like there was like a block of an hour block where it was That's Incredible and then Real People. But
it was Fran Tarkenton. Yes, it definitely was Fran Tarkenton. And what was the other one? Real People?
Yeah, Real People.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think at one point there was like a block of Fran Tarkenton.
Oh, I used to love that because That's Incredible would show like, weird, talented people and different things, but then they always show didn't they always have like the scary segment, which was like a ghost or a Loch Ness monster or something.
Okay, we couldn't have been more off. Fran Tarkenton was not on Real People, but when you hear the names that the people, there was like 8 people that were on this thing. You'll remember now. It was Sarah Purcell was the main person.
Yeah, Sarah Purcell. I remember her.
Skip Stevenson, Byron Allen, John Barber, Fred Willard, Mark Russell, Bill Rafferty, and Peter Billingsley. Peter Billingsley from
vaguely,
Christmas Story. I think that was a later version, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, that might. I don't know. That kind of he was on something though. Fran Tarkenton was on something.
Well, it was on That's Incredible.
Oh, okay. You're right.
No,
he was not on Real People, is what you're saying.
No, he was. Yeah,
okay,
we did not have a block of Fran Tarkenton. Only in our deepest dreams did we have that. But,
we're showing our age. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, please continue.
Everyone's probably like, "Who the hell is Fran Tarkenton?" And they're probably thinking. No, in all honesty, he's probably thinking. They're probably all thinking we're just mispronouncing Frank Tarkenton, but no, it is Fran Tarkenton.
Fran Tarkenton.
Yes. What was he?
He was a football player,
Chiefs, right? Originally.
I don't remember which team.
Did I get it wrong? Oh,
I'm not a football guy.
I'm sorry, Vikings, not Chiefs. Vikings. He was with the Vikings and the New York Giants, and then back to the Vikings again. He was actually MVP of the NFL one year. Let's get back to what's at hand. After Kathy Crosby is shooting laser beam, and I'll tell you, there's a guy in that trailer. I don't know if you caught him. The dude with the awesome white beard and plaid cap. That is totally the energy I want to give out when I'm in like my 60s, like like that, like perfectly coiffed, like bright white beard with a like that plaid cap,
Oh yeah.
I mean, who doesn't want that, right? Yeah.
And
also has William Devane in it. If you remember him, and don't you want to, when you see him, you want to go Devane. But yeah. So anyway. This disc is now, it's got so went off such side tangents here, but anyway, audio commentary featuring producer Ego Cantor and director John Bud Cardos. In isolated score audio track, interview with composer Roger Kellaway, interview with John Bud Cardos, and theatrical trailer, 2-sided artwork, and collectible mini poster. Every time I see Bud, I think of remember the well, great. I'm bringing up like the people that probably not really want to be talked about right now. First, the former president, and now Cosby. But on the Cosby Show, remember Rudy when she had her friend Bud? She used to say.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that's Bud. What I think of when I say Bud. But,
that's great. All right. So next up, we have another one from MVD Visual, One Dark Night from 1982. And I watched this one as part of a horror movie challenge. I actually quite liked it. As part of an initiation into a club called the Sisters, a young girl must spend the night in a mausoleum. And it has Dottie from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
It does, yes. Oh my God. E.C. Daly?
Oh, right? I can't remember.
I almost said E.G. Marshall, which would have made that a whole different movie. But no,
she had an incredible career, or still does have an incredible career doing voice work.
She does, yeah. Oh, tons of cartoons.
Tons of cartoons she's done. I was so happy to hear that because you see people like in these movies, and you're like, and from the 80s or whatever, and then you're like, well, whatever happened to them? And she had a really successful career. She still does doing voice work for cartoons. I think that's just great.
Yeah, no, and she, obviously though, everyone remembers her from Pee-wee, but like, yeah, she was also in that movie which Conan and I have been trying to get you to watch, Streets of Fire.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
I need to watch that one. All right, so this one was previously remastered by Code Red. It has an audio commentary with director and co-writer Tom McLaughlin and producer Michael Schroeder. Audio commentary with director and co-writer Tom McLaughlin and writer Michael Halls. Interview with director Tom McLaughlin. Interview with actress E.G. Daly. Interview with actress Nancy Mott. Interview with cinematographer Hal Trussell. Interview with production designer Craig Stearns. Interview with producer Michael Schroeder. Interview with special effects crew member Paul Clemens. alternate director's cut work print version of the film, behind the scenes footage, Paul Clemens photo gallery, original theatrical trailer, reversible artwork, and collectible mini poster. And I'm laughing because I actually work with a guy named Paul Clemens.
Oh no! Really?
So I was just picturing him in my mind. I don't think.
Oh, it says right there, E.G. Daily. It's right in the thing.
Yeah. E.G. Daily. So there you go.
Okay, next my pick of the week, so I gotta skip. Then we go to Severin Films, The Cannibal Man, 1972. It says a young man working. This trailer was kind of wacky too, but it says a young man working as a butcher accidentally kills a taxi driver. I'd love to know how that happens. That's why I need to watch it. Says his girlfriend wants to go to the police, so he has to kill her too. He then has to kill his brother's fiance, and his father, who have become suspicious. He gets rid of the bodies by taking them to the butchery. ... As there's more that we didn't get. But like Tim said, he wrote for a movie they called Cannibal Man. It contained a remarkable lack of cannibalism.
Yeah, don't you have to eat the people if you're going to actually... I mean, just butchering is not enough. You actually have to eat
unless
them
unless he sells it. Maybe that's like implied that he resells it. But I don't know.
It was weird. It was like he would do a kill and then it would like freeze frame and it'd be like the Cannibal Man.
Yeah, I think they should make a mashup of this and call it the Cannibal Run, where it's like they race across the country to eat people the fastest. Anyway, the two fully. Oh wait, you're reading this. Oh no, I'm doing this one. Look at this. We're way off. Two fully remastered cuts of the film, extended version, Week of the Killer, 107. Why am I reading that? How many minutes?
Because we're tired.
Yeah, international version, The Cannibal Man, which is less, I guess, than the original one. It's a cinema at the margin. Stephen Thrower and Dr. Shala Rowan Legg on Eloy de la Iglesia. And so we know Stephen Thrower before. I don't know if you remember him. He was once the guest on the Fowler and Pratt show because of his catchy last name. He was assumed to be a star pitcher, but he shattered those illusions after posting a 2-16 record, Tim. Listen to this, and an 8.74 ERA in his first 2 seasons of college ball. And
that's oddly specific.
Yeah, and I found out about Dr. Chalet Rowan Legg. Actually, she was known for her word puzzle she created for her local paper called Scrambled Legs. So, then there's The Sleazy and the Strange, interview with Carlos Aguilar, deleted scenes, trailer, and reversible artwork.
All right, so next up we have one from Arrow called Blind Beast from 1969. I could not find a trailer for this. A blind sculptor and his mother kidnap a young model. I know nothing about this, but it does have some... We do have a new film historian here.
We do.
So we have a high-definition Blu-ray presentation, original uncompressed Japanese mono audio, optional English subtitles, and a brand new audio commentary that I'm sure that Brian's going to tell us about. Asian cinema scholar Earl Jackson.
Yes. Well, okay. So first of all, his title's a little misleading. It was because it was recently determined that he attended a school primarily at Asian cinemas and is well versed in their architecture and where the perfect seat in the house is. So when they say he's a cinema scholar, they meant the actual cinema, not the movies in them. But
newly filmed introduction.
I'm reaching. I know, I'm reaching.
Newly filmed introduction by Japanese cinema expert Tony Raines.
Yes, and he was impressed by Asian film scholar Earl Jackson and helped mentor him on his way to becoming an expert in the field.
Oh, great. All right. And then Blind Beast, Masumura the Super Sensualist, a brand new visual essay by Japanese literature and visual studies scholar Seth Jakubowicz.
Yeah, so I don't know much about him, but apparently he spends 95% of this featurette trying to figure out what a super sensualist is. So, so that's that one. I'm good. Stretching. Sorry, Cody. Sorry.
Cody's got a lot of work cut out for this.
She does. I think this may be where she just gives up this project.
We have original trailer, image gallery, reversible sleeve featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by Tony Stella, and first pressing only, an original illustrated booklet featuring new writing by Virginie Salavi. Virginie.
I totally almost read that as Tony Danza.
Yeah, I did. I wanted to say Stella. All right, so that brings us to your... Well, actually, yeah, Brian, I'll let you do your pick of the week now, and then I'll do mine.
This is a Shout Factory, although it's not one of the big release Shout Factories with a ton of stuff, but it's a Return to Salem's Lot from 1987. And the reason why I picked it, because I'm a huge fan of the original Salem's Lot, and I want this for my collection. Shout Factory anyway, so at least it's you're getting a quality disc, even though with lack of special features, but it's here's the plot, if you didn't know. The terrifying tale of Salem's Lot continues, and the shocking and satirical return to Salem's Lot. Beneath the quaint, picture-perfect exterior of a small New England community lurks an unsettling undead evil, vampires. When fresh blood comes to town in the form of a moral anthropologist, Joe Weber, and his son Jeremy, the vampires employ their father to document their story. But when the stakes are raised, get it, stakes are raised, Joe must take on the hellish horde or lose his son and his soul. So I figured I had to emphasize that last part.
Joe Weber and his son Jeremy make some damn fine grills.
They do.
Yeah. I've got a Weber.
Do they stake their claim on that?
I've never actually seen this one. I'm kind of a hole in my collection. I've never seen the sequel to Salem's Lot.
Yeah, I saw it. I definitely not on as good as the original by any means. But, it's a little bit the different kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Tone for this one. But
yeah. So my pick of the week, this is kind of I don't know. This one was kind of I don't know how to describe it. Irony, or I'm poking fun at my own picks of the week with this one because it's Arrow's release of the Cat O' Tales. And if you're a longtime Civil War listener, early on when we did our dismemberments, this disc got pushed so many times. Yeah. And it seemed like every other week we were talking about Cat O' Tales. And I bet this thing got pushed like 9 times.
This release has 9 lives. Forget the cat.
Or it was re-released or something. So when I saw this on the rundown, it was just cracking me up that they have the 4K version. So I'm making this my pick of the week because if you don't grab it this week, it's gonna be like skipping ahead to future weeks. I don't know how many times this thing's gonna get delayed. This is from 1971. A reporter and a retired blind journalist try to solve a series of killings, and in doing so, both become targets of the killer. And I actually watched this one finally. This is a very famous Giallo film. New 4K restoration from the original negative by Arrow Films. Bunch of your subtitle sound type stuff I'm not going to read. Audio commentary by critics Alan Jones and Kim Newman. Kim Newman was grandfathered in, so he doesn't get a biography. 9 Lives, an interview with co-writer-director Dario Argento. The Writer O' Many Tales, an interview with co-writer Dardano Sacchetti. Child Star, an interview with actress Cynthia De Carolis. Giallo in Turin, an interview with production manager Angelo Iacano. Script pages for the lost original ending translated into English for the first time. Original Italian, international, and U.S. theatrical trailers. Illustrated collector's booklet featuring an original essay on the film by Dario Argento and writing by Barry Forshaw, Troy Howarth, and Howard Hughes.
Yeah, well, Howard Hughes we know, but and Troy Howarth we mentioned already, but I don't know if you remember Barry Forshaw, but he's actually a thin, neat, tidy fellow who greets his neighbor across the hall, Kim Newman, with the general disdain, and always says, "Hello, Newman." So, yeah. But it's funny. It's like the whole gang is back together again. They're all like filtered throughout this dismemberment. Yeah.
They really are. Fold-out double-sided poster featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by Obviously Creative. 6 double-sided postcard-sized lobby card reproduction art cards and limited edition packaging with reversible sleeve featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by Obviously Creative. And I love my Giallo films and my 4K version. So this is a really, really nice set by Arrow.
Yeah, we joke about this. We're not joking about the movie.
No. It's a really good movie. Yeah.
It's great. It's the fact that like Tim said, longtime Civil War listeners will remember how many times it's like we've mentioned the release of this film. Yeah. So.
All right, so to recap the week of August 24th, we had The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, Two Evil Eyes from 1990, Evil Dead Trap from 1988, The Dark from 1979, One Dark Night from 1982, A Return to Salem's... Oh, sorry, that's your pick of the week, Brian. Cannibal Man from 1972, Blind Beast from 1969, Brian's pick of the week, A Return to Salem's Lot from 1987, and my pick of the week, The Cat O' Nine Tails 4K Arrow Edition from 1971. That brings us to our final week, another kind of packed week with 8 releases. But we did agree on our pick of the week this week. And there was actually several in here that could have been contenders. But we start things off with one that's not a contender. Lionsgate Films' Fear the Walking Dead, the complete 6th season. And, this is the spinoff, of course, of The Walking Dead. And it really had a very uneven start. I watched the first season and absolutely despised it. Watched the second season, it got a little better. Watched a little bit of the third season, and I just kind of finally gave up on it. I don't know. This one has never really grabbed me. I've heard it got much, much better as it went on. But I don't know. I'm kind of over the whole zombie thing. So it does have some audio commentaries for some of these episodes, which is always interesting on these TV sets, but one that I'm not going to be rushing out to get.
Yeah. Next one is our pick of the week. We'll skip that. Then it goes to Kino Lorber release here, The Last Man on Earth from 1964. It says, a sole survivor of a lethal virus that transforms all other into vampire-like zombies. He fights them nightly until desperately lonely, and at the end of his rope, he makes a startling discovery. But, Tim and I both have not seen this, actually. But it's got Vincent Price in it, so we definitely want to.
Yeah.
It's got a new audio commentary by Richard Harlan Smith, trailers from Hell with Joe Dante, Richard Matheson's Storyteller. I think that both those features are on other discs, that Trailers from Hell and Richard
they
Matheson's
sound
Storyteller.
very familiar to me.
Yeah. It's got 2 TV spots, an alternate ending, the Italian trailer, theatrical trailer, limited edition, O-card slipcase.
Nice. This next one, the trailer just cracked me up. This is from Arrow. It's The Brotherhood of Satan from 1971. A family is trapped in a desert town by a cult of senior citizens who recruit the town's children to worship Satan. This trailer, man, is absolutely over-the-top ridiculousness. I mean, I love those old early 70s movies about Satan. This one just looks ridiculous. It does have a high-definition Blu-ray presentation, brand new audio commentary by writers Kim Newman and Sean Hogan, Satanic Panic, How the 1970s Conjured the Brotherhood of Satan, a brand new visual essay by David Flint, The Children of Satan, exclusive new interview with actors Jonathan Erickson Isley and Allison Moore, original trailers and TV and radio spots, image gallery, reversible sleeve featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by Richard Wells, and first pressing only, an illustrated booklet featuring new writing by Johnny Maines and Brad Stevens. Brian, you get this next one, and I've got a story to tell you.
Oh boy, I love that I get this one. This one is by 88 Films, and that is The Gestapo's Last Orgy. And now, at first, I want to ask before we go into this: is this like part of the Gestapo orgy trilogy? Like, was there like the first Gestapo orgy, and like followed by the Orgy Strikes Back, and then this one or something?
I don't know.
But anyway, so this is a Jewish World War II survivor revisits the ruins of a hellish concentration camp, and the memories are still vivid. How did she escape the humiliation, the tortures, and the destruction of human flesh? How did she flee from Gestapo's last orgy, Tim? Yeah.
I
so
could
anyway,
actually
do you want to tell your story first?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and Ken's gonna love this. So back in the day, okay, we gotta go way back. You gotta move back to high school. So I lived in the same neighborhood as my buddy Ken, who you've heard us talk about on the show, and another friend of ours, Daniel, who lived up the street. And Ken's probably busted out laughing as I'm telling this, but we would go up to we'd stay at Ken's house overnight. I mean, we would stay up all night. We'd play D&D, we'd watch movies. I mean, and his mom would like feed us ridiculous amounts of food, and it was a great time. I love those evenings in high school doing that. And one of the things we used to do is we'd go up to the video store and we would try to find the most out of the way, dust covered, terrible, like extreme horror movies we could find. I mean, the worst, like the one that nobody ever rented. And so one night we rented this movie, and I did not even remember the name of it, but we rented this movie, and it was Nazis and naked women, and there's one point where she's being, I guess they were trying to make it like she's being fed to rats, but they were actually gerbils. And it's even in the trailer, you can see they're gerbils. And we couldn't even make it through this movie. And we laughed about that. We still, like, for years after that, we would laugh about that. What was that crazy movie where the naked woman's getting eaten by gerbils? And when I saw this trailer, I went, oh my God, that's the movie. This has got to be it. Unless there's multiple movies about Nazis feeding naked women to gerbils, this has to be the movie.
Is this part of a trilogy, or is this the one?
I don't know. This has to be the movie. And so Ken, if you're out there listening, the Gestapo's Last Orgy, this has to be the movie.
Well, it has other titles too. Like, it has like foreign titles.
I'm sure we probably rented it under some foreign title, because I can't imagine in high school we rented something with orgy in the title. But even if we were thinking it,
I just can't believe you actually found this in a video store. Like, can you imagine? Like, I worked at a video store, so I remember the catalogs you would get when you'd place orders for movies and stuff. Like, and you usually like. It like reminds me of that scene in Clerks. Remember when Randall's reading off all the porn titles to order?
Oh my
gosh. Orders the Happy Scrappy Puppy. Like, that's what I mean. Like, that's like, how could someone like with a straight face order this movie like that? But I mean, it must be something.
There's a weird Nazi sex thing that I don't know, like genre or something. I don't know. There's some weird thing like that, because I've seen more than one of these weird like Nazi porno type things. I mean, I haven't seen it personally, but I've heard of it.
Yeah,
I don't read them.
I didn't think you.
That's not on my Voodoo. That's not in my Voodoo digital library.
Yeah. Not in the digilith.
Oh man, Ken, you're gonna crack up when you hear this. Oh my gosh! Oh, so this one has
Ken. He doesn't even know the joy is coming his way.
No, I can't wait. It has a brand new 2K. Oh no, sorry, it's you, Brian. You please continue.
It's got a 2K restoration of the film from the original camera negative, complete and fully uncut. Newly restored English and Italian LPCM soundtracks. Audio commentary by Audio commentary by critic and author Sam Deegan, and of course. Sam, we recently discovered she was a woman, Sam. Second M stands for mime. Movies represented solely by physical representation inside a glass box. When she introduced herself, she always says, "Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Sam with 2 M's," and holds up 2 fingers to illustrate. When she teams up with Kat Ellinger, though, the second M stands for magical.
That's right.
And the next one is audio commentary by... Finally, they're together after being split amongst several titles this month. Italian movie specialist Troy Howarth and top. I love how they just keep getting new titles added to them.
They each got like 10 titles. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but we know them right now as Statler and Waldorf. They were not Bruth couldn't make it, so no Stygian witches. But yeah, so it's just Statler and Waldorf today, and the newly translated English subtitles to this movie. So,
all right,
you're gonna buy this, aren't you, Tim? You're gonna order this movie. I know you are.
No, me and Ken are going to get together and rent it next time he's down. That's what we're going to do.
You'll not find this for rent ever again. You'll have to buy it.
We're gonna go over to his mom's house. We're gonna she's gonna make us a big bowl of popcorn and ice cream and all this other stuff, and we're gonna stay up all night and watch this.
Will you be chuffed if you find it? That's a new word I learned today. I guess it's a English slang. Emma Louise Webb, from Host, she used it. In a thing, and I actually, she wrote, she goes, in her tweet, she says she was so happy, but she says, be chuffed, and she put it all in caps that people cared about her career, and so it was a lot of people, tweeted back at her like, oh, that's so great, and I wrote, not gonna lie, I had to look up what chuffed is, but now I'm gonna use it constantly. It basically means like super happy or extremely pleased. Probably going to ask our buddy Matt from Yorkshire too.
See, to me, I would have thought
he's about to get married, so we can't bother him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
like that.
Congrats, Matt. But I would have thought chuffed meant like pissed off.
Or something like that. Like miffed, because it sounds like miffed to us.
Yeah.
But chuffed, but I swear to God, the English and British slang are the coolest words ever. I love that. They're so much better than our words.
I know. That's why I want to go over there so bad.
I know. I'm going to use chuffed a lot, though.
So release Release 6 here from Kino Lorber is The Comedy of Terrors from 1966. Four Masters of the Macabre star in this sinister and screamingly funny scarefest. Waldo Trumbull, Vincent Price, is running his father-in-law's, Boris Karloff's, funeral home business straight into the ground, hounded by his landlord, Basil Rathbone.
Wait a minute. Aren't all funeral homes going to eventually, you're going to go straight to the ground?
Yeah. Trumbull and his assistant, Peter Lorre, devise a way to make death pay by increasing their customer base through the murder and burying the secrets to their success body by body. This one's a lot of fun. I've watched this one before. You got some star-studded cast, and it's wacky, and it's really, really. I thought this one was very, very entertaining.
Yeah, no, I've never seen it, but I have to now, if only to see Rhubarb the cat and the amazing Joey Brown. And I love how they threw so many like funny things in the trailer, like where they said like you'll get the wrath of Rathbone or something like this. Like, it's kind of like puns and
it's completely
wordplay.
wacky. I mean, totally mid-60s wackiness. Has a new audio commentary by critic Tim Lucas, which of course is our Southern Gentleman Redneck, almost kind of our Joe Bob knockoff.
Yeah.
Richard Matheson storyteller. There you go. You have seen that feature before. Theatrical trailer and limited edition O-card slipcase.
The next one is AGFA, which is I guess the American Genre Film Association, which we figured out once, and that is She Freak from 1967. Not to be confused with She Bop, the 1980s classic by Cyndi Lauper.
We won't go into what that movie's about. I mean, what that song's about.
No, we won't do that one. But this one, we'll go into She Freak for you, though. Jade is a waitress who leaves the greasy diner business for the excitement of the carnival. She quickly discovers that she despises freaks and human oddities. Well, that doesn't sound like a very happy ending for her. But
this looks amazing.
It does.
It has like actual carnival footage from the 60s. Which is what I thought was cool.
Wait till you see the things on this disc, though. Speaking of that, so I thought it kind of looked almost like George Romero Amusement Park-esque, the way it was, like this creepy thing. But so it's got a new 4K restoration from the original 35mm camera negative. There's archival commentary with producer David F. Friedman and Something Weird founder Mike Vraney. So Asylum of the Insane She Freak inserts preserved in 2K. The laughing, leering, lampooning lures of David F. Friedman, a feature-length compilation of trailers from the Something Weird vaults, newly preserved in 2K. Vintage shorts from the Carnival Midway, so they have actual, just real random footage of the
that's
Carnival
what I saw,
Midway, which you and Kev, man, that's like right up your alley, those kind of things. Got a promotional photo gallery and a booklet with essay by Something Weird's Lisa Petrucci.
It's got a great cover, too. If you go look at the DVD cover, this one is really, really good. So next up from Vinegar Syndrome, we have Forgotten Jolly Volume 2 from 1972-74. So this one is kind of a neat little set. Again, sort of like our previous set earlier on in the first week. This is a collection of 3 maybe lesser known Giallo films. Includes French Sex Murders, My Dear Killer, and The Girl in Room 2A. And I did not see the extras on these, but I'm guessing there probably is on each individual disc inside.
Yeah, I would think so.
So Vinegar Syndrome typically has some kind of extras, so you'll have to look those up for the individual titles. But that's a pretty cool little set there.
Yeah. Oh wait, I almost forgot. We have now our pick of the week, too.
Yeah, yep, that's right. We agreed on this one.
Yeah, and that's Kino Lorber comes back with The Raven from 1963. Of course, that classic. It says, 2 wizards dueling for magical supremacy is utterly bewitching. That is all the title, though, they give us. I mean, the description they give us. But so it's got a Corbin's Comedy of Poe, an interview with producer-director Roger Corman. Richard Matheson, storyteller, is back again. Trailers from Hell now, this time with Mick Garris.
Oh, nice.
So he gave Joe Dante a break. Theatrical trailer and limited edition O-card slipcase, but that one's got to include that as the pick of the week.
And you missed an extra there, Brian. There's an audio commentary there at the top.
You are right. I missed that, and that is by film historian David Duvall, who is looks and sounds like Frankie Avalon. He used to do Beachploitation movies in the 60s. Still has Shatner hair and wears deep V-necks to let the Hasselhoff-like chest hair hang out. Still living his best beach blanket bingo life, smooth with the ladies like Richard Dawson from Family Feud.
There you go.
How did I miss that? See, I'm telling you, there's something off with my screen. It's like the colors are off.
Oh, yeah, like you can't see yellow or something.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know.
Well, that wraps things up for the month of August. So to recap, August 31st, we had Fear the Walking Dead, the complete 6th season, Kino Lorber's The Last Man on Earth, Arrow's The Brotherhood of Satan from 71, Ken's favorite movie of all time, the Gestapo's Last Orgy from 77, Kino Lorber's The Comedy of Terrors from 1966, She Freak from 67, Forgotten Gialli Volume 2 from 72 to 74, that's by Vinegar Syndrome, and then our pick of the week, Kino Lorber's classic The Raven, which is a great film. That one's a lot of fun, so pick that one up, and you have some pretty good extras with it too. So I know that was a weird month of releases, just kind of all over the map, but sometimes those make the best conversation. So I like the weird months, actually.
Yes, I agree.
All right, guys. So we will see you back next month for our September dismemberment. It is extremely hard for me to fathom that we are already getting into September and quickly closing in on our Halloween Horror Nights vacation.
Yeah, well, they already have stuff like I see our friend Tony from Ghost Girl Greetings. She already posted all the stuff she found, like pumpkin coffee at Home Goods and stuff. And
yeah, this year is
I gotta make a trip out to the stores this weekend. So
yeah, all right, guys. So again, thanks for listening, and we'll have some great shows coming up with great interviews. I mean, the podcast is really rolling along, so you guys are in for some treats.
Yes.
We will see you back here next week.
See ya.